My wife usually just centres on my bald patch on the back of my head. It's just like this bright, shining light.
That's all right. I do mine every day. So.
Yeah, but
this comes off.
You suit it, so I mean, mine you just no.
Yeah, you're all right though. What's up?
I'm getting old. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Dave Cyderbaby. This is for Rock Radio UK, and today I'm in Wales speaking to Demon. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello there. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
I can remember your name because it's Dave.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Everybody knows Dave.
Good to see you again, Dave.
Yes, we've spoken a couple of times.
We have, yes.
And Neil.
Nice to meet you.
And you, sir. Co-writers and
yes, oh yeah,
band members extraordinaires, basically.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we've been working on a few albums over the last couple of years together, Dave, haven't we?
Well, we have, yeah. I remember we go back to when you joined, which is 20 years ago.
Yeah, 2001, I think, was it? Something like that.
Yeah.
So what album would that have been?
Better the Devil You Know was the first one that I helped to write. Yeah. It used to be me, myself, Dave and Ray when he was in the band with the main writers. Not through anything other than that's just how it was, wasn't it, Dave? It's an open book, this band. It's fabulous to be in, as a writer. Just gives Dave the stuff and it's amazing to see what he comes back with a couple of days later, a week later,
Yeah.
Well, it's vice versa because, you can only get inspired, by what the partner gives to you. But the great thing then, you can throw it back.
Yeah.
And Neil said, and we'll talk it over.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we were saying about this album. We just, we had to actually send, as I say, stuff to each other and or nip out and say, have that one. And then we built up. I've never been involved where we've done more than that album.
Right.
And there we were with, 20-something
25
tracks.
songs, wasn't it?
And when we came down to, doing this, we had to keep going through the tracks, and I think we recorded about 13. Didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Or maybe 14, and then got it down and to what we got. But I think that was a great help and all, and I think with COVID, I've said in interviews that where people have said, why is this album all of a sudden like it is? And I said I think we were ready to burst out of that COVID bubble.
Right.
Because we had a lot of work we had to cancel, didn't we?
Yeah.
When COVID came, we got one of the busiest years, and all of a sudden stop.
Yeah.
And I think it was great because I think the band were hungry.
Yes.
I think people in general weren't they? They were absolutely sick to death of being cooped up and with all the rules and fiasco that surrounded going to a gig. When it was all finally gone, everybody was ready to rock, weren't they? Really,
Yeah.
I know I was, and I know the band.
Yeah.
So it was.
And I think the feeling it spread to the tracks and to the enthusiasm when we recorded it.
Mm.
Everybody was just, well, let's do it, and I think it shows in the product.
It certainly does. I know I'm probably sounding like a dozen or 24 other journalists at the moment, but it is a cracking album. Invincible is just so good. I had it on loop in my car all summer, basically. So, yeah.
What we aimed to do, Dave, we didn't really want to dig too deep in subjects, did we? We wanted it to be up and big choruses. That was the main aim that we wanted, That was what was
we wanted to go for the full spectrum.
Yeah.
Let's make as good as we can make of every style that we've used and the way we felt. And I think
there's certainly lots of subjects to write about as well, wasn't there, with what had been going on,
Yeah. So you whittled it down to what, about a dozen tracks, 10 tracks?
I think it's 10 or 11, isn't it? Yeah.
So does that mean there's more left over in the pot for?
Yeah. There was, like Dave said, we actually physically recorded everything, 14 tracks, which could have gone on this album, but you pick like a decent one in order and different tempos and keys and stuff like that.
So that means even more Demon forthcoming.
Yes, well, hopefully. I mean, we always say, is this the last year we're going to be doing it? So as long as people keep coming and seeing us, we shall carry on as long as we can,
I think the way it's gone, I mean, don't mention it to Frontiers that we write new material now because they're doing so well with the album.
Yeah.
So, what you don't want to do is, I mean, it's early days with it. I mean, we're talking about, I just mentioned the vinyls coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will, of course, be because of a demand that people wanted it, not just us asking Frontiers and all of a sudden they have a date. And we talked then about maybe doing another video, proper video, a bit like Face the Master was in the church, and off another track of the album. So we want to keep the whole thing. There's a lot of momentum. I mean, albums are forever anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've basically got a handful of classic albums to your name already.
Yeah.
I mean, that must feel great in its own right. Just
well, I think I've said to you before, I know, let Neil say a bit in a minute, but people always ask me, they go back to Night of the Demon. I said, I sat in a chair in the back of a record shop near to where we live with Mal Spooner. And we went, there's a scream in the night. You know, that was something I you know, because he was a good writer, Mal, both of us. And we were called Demon. We said, well, let's write something. And I never forget, because obviously Mal died a few years later, but I never forget, because he was a great lyricist. But when we started Demon, the lyrics are different than, because I'd written with Mal in the past for record companies and stuff. And I said, well, we call Demon. I said, you know, if we're going to do an album, we're going to have it. So in the back of a shop, I sang, there's a scream in the night and death on the wind. And he turned around to me, he said, hey, that's good. Where did you get that from? And I said, I've got one up on you. It's normally you telling me. I said, but the thing I was getting to is, if someone had said to us, okay, it's going to come out, and if 1 year later people would remember that album, I'd have been astounded. 40-odd years later, if you don't go on there and play Night of the Demon or Don't Break the Circle or certain tracks, because it's in Sarah Pedigree to everything else, isn't it? Yeah. So that was amazing. It's 44 years and...
still a lot of young people getting into it as well.
Yeah.
Especially abroad when we play Germany or whatever. The front row's normally people who are like 20-odd, and they know every single word, you know. It's stood the test of the time. Yeah. Stood the test of time, clearly, you know.
Well, look at Kippy Tree the other week I just meant. I mean, most of them wouldn't have been born when... you know, the majority of the people singing it and listening to it wouldn't have been born when those tracks came out, because obviously it gets passed down to generations.
Yeah.
But it's something you couldn't think about, and it's the same when we've done stuff, isn't it? What was Standing on the Edge and stuff like which we did on. Did we do it on that album? On
Better the Devil.
Better the Devil. Yeah. And all of a sudden it started getting used in Europe somewhere. Something happened. And we haven't played it for a while, that one, but we pop it in and everybody sings it. So it's just a great feeling. It's, you know, perhaps it was all worthwhile.
Amazing to be in Japan and somebody brings you the album that you've just done, you know. It's still a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, they got Invincible, haven't
they? Yeah. It's an amazing feeling, you know, to think that people the other side of the world have bought and listened to your album.
And it hadn't been released there then, because that was it June?
Yeah.
And what I was saying, and we're all saying, it makes you realise how different the world is. Because if you put something out there now, you're going to see it in Japan and everywhere else, aren't they? They can order it from. And, you know, you went in there and there's loads of people with Invincible. And it's not out, so it's just great.
Yeah. Japan must have sounded pretty immense, pretty great at the time. I mean, 4 dates, you going back?
No, we did 2 days. Well,
2 days,
we did 2 days. We did 2 days travelling. Then they took us round, didn't they? They gave us a guided tour.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah, it's a fabulous place.
And then we did 2 gigs at the same place, and they were sold out. And so then we were coming back, as well as interviews. It's like virtually a business thing. You know, if you went to bed late, you were knocked up in the morning, especially dragging me down to the cellar and saying, we've got such and such from Sakimoto's. And you're doing an interview. But, I mean, and I think we all said it's taken a while.
Yeah.
Because my wife said to me the other day, "What do you think? How do you think with Japan now?" I said, it was great, but you know, taking it in is, you know, because it was it was just madness, wasn't it? And I was just saying about those guys who were there. We're at KIT Festival.
That's right. Yeah.
They
travelled from Japan over to Germany to to visit the Kippy True Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Proper fans.
Proper fans.
Yeah.
It's got to be my first time, I've got to say. Tonight.
What, seeing Demon?
Yeah.
Really?
It's been one of my ambitions for years and years and years, and real life takes over sometimes.
Yeah,
doesn't
it does, yeah.
It does.
When you're a dairy farmer, all options go out the window because...
Are you still doing that?
No. I've got 1 cow and I've got 4 horses. That's
right,
it.
well, fair enough.
And a couple of dogs. But now I've got a chance. I've been really looking forward to tonight. But you're actually starting to gain a little bit of momentum as well. There's quite a few little gigs popping out here and there as well, aren't they?
I think, to be honest with you, I think the Frontiers thing that we signed with has massively helped us. You know, if you just look at their YouTube channel, it's like 475,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So if a small percentage of them don't know Demon, and, you know, the first video I think is up to 80,000, which is great for us, you know. And that has definitely helped. And there's a fresh interest in the album as
Absolutely.
well. It's you know, it's
like I said, I mean, I did Russia last week and done everywhere in the world, and not just what they're saying, but it's creating interest. All right, we've released in those countries in the past, but I think what Frontiers are able to do, they do things instantly.
Okay.
When it was spaced out music with myself and Mike, and obviously Neil's always worked with us, things had to take time. You know, I mean, they sit in a forum in Italy, all next to each other, and Carlos or Mario comes on to me, but I'll put you in touch with such and such, and it's there immediately because they're always, you know. So the world is so small in that way, and
I think the other good thing for me off this album as well is it isn't just 1 or 2 songs that everybody's picking up on.
No.
A load of different people say, I love that one, I love that one, I love that song, you know, in different areas. So that's another good thing for us, you know, it's a widespread of people in there.
Well, there was one,
and
we said actually the one we wrote in COVID was Rise Up, which is...
It's just a feel-good song, wasn't it?
And we said it's a feel-good song, and if you listen to the lyric, it's when we get out of this crap and everything, we're going to rise up, and it's a celebratory track. And they all said, funny enough, one after the other in South America, they like the track a lot. It's beginning to pop up there and get you know, a lot. And I said, well, we did it when we were at a lowest, because somebody said it at that time, I suppose you're going to write about another plague now. I said, the last thing the world wants to hear is bloody plague 2 from us when they just come out of COVID. I said, no.
More doom and gloom.
That might be the death knell of the band, mightn't it?
But the Rise Up thing was you know, let's celebrate, and so basically it has been mentioned now. So, but they all get mentioned eventually.
Yeah. How much of the album now is in the set live?
Well, at the minute, as you probably see, we have a new member in Rick, keyboard player. Our old keyboard player couldn't commit to as many gigs as we wanted, so he's joined. So, as Dave said before, we have to do Night of the Demon and certain other songs. So at the minute, there's just Face the Master. But from now on, now we've got the settled lineup again.
We have been doing In My Blood.
Yeah, In My Blood. We've done a couple of times.
But because of the quick turnaround with Rick, who's absolutely great, we had to give him the ones that everybody knows, and he'd. So what we're going to do is, when we've done today and in London, we're doing a gig in a couple of weeks in Malaga.
All right.
And they just want virtually
early stuff,
the old stuff again.
So sometimes, sorry to interrupt this. Sometimes people will say, "Can you do the first 2 albums?" Majority, you know, some will say, "Can you do Plague stuff?" So it's because I've done 15 or 16 albums. There's a lot to go at, you know. So we've done a couple of albums in 4. We did the Plague in 4, Taking the World by Storm in 4. So it's just picking and choosing which songs you want to do, and again getting a decent running order. You know, ebbs and flows in the life
situation. What we really want to play, like we just said, circumstances have restricted this moment. Yeah. I mean, with Carl, the other keyboard, we did do In My Blood. And then if that would have remained the same, which I'm glad it hasn't. No, I mean, it's better for everybody now. So we said when we finish these couple of gigs, then we're going to, I think we're going to do, what's the next track?
Off the album, you mean, off the new one? We were going to do what's it called?
What's the video we're going to do?
Hole in the Sky. Hole in the Sky.
Hole in the Sky. I love that. Yeah.
I mean, the guy who did the video for us, Alex, it's fabulous because everybody still asks, "Where are you in that church?
Yeah,
what church?
Did you hire 6 cathedrals to do that? Yeah, of course we did. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. My wife, when we went to do that, it was a Sunday, and we did it in Paul's Studio 11, which is a club. And obviously, when we finished, it was only a few days later, wasn't it? We saw that. And my wife says, "I never knew you went to church on that Sunday." I said, "I didn't go to church." She said, "Well, you're there, look at the church." I said, "No, it's done with a green screen." Trying to explain to her like
Yeah.
but I mean, he did an amazing job, and I think what's happened there, it's a good track and it's an excellent track and an excellent video, and people have really taken to it. And I think if we can give the second injection to the album as such, with the vinyl coming out, we said if we do that track, which we could have the pyramids and we'll be there, and I think that would work. But that's where we are with it. But we want to do, by the time we play at Club 11 in November, we probably hope to do at least 3 tracks from the album.
And there's an Underworld as well. You sold out that?
That's tomorrow, yeah.
That is tomorrow, is it?
Yeah.
So it's, we've got to do this.
Not far from you. Could be 2 and 2 days for you.
I'd love to, but my wife would probably kill me.
Yeah.
But no, guys, I mean, time's getting on, and I'm going to let you go. You've got a show to do and prepare for. But I'm really looking forward to tonight. I'm hoping that I'm going to see you again over the next 12 months. More new music. I'd like to hear a lot of the new album live because I think it'll really shine as well.
Thank you.
We shall keep in touch, and I know you will.
Oh, yeah.
It's that man again.
I'm surprised you haven't blocked me on WhatsApp yet.
I was saying earlier today, because when I wrote back to you, and just before I texted my wife and I said, "She'll never believe me if you get something from Cyderbaby." This is what you get up to while you're away, is it?
On that note, on that bombshell, I think I better go. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.